Hey everyone, it's David Brzezowski with Talent Smart EQ with this week's installment of EQ How To. How likable do you think people find you? There's a myth that likability only comes naturally, that we are born with it or we can't learn how to be more likable. Untrue. You hold likability in your control. There was a study done by UCLA that asked people to rate over 500 adjectives based on their perceived significance of likability. What we found is words such as sincerity, compassion, transparency all rose to the top. Those words also describe people who are highly social on the emotional intelligence skill side. We've also found that those who score highly in that social side tend to be outperforming their peers in business. So, I have for you 5 EQ how-to tips to becoming a little bit more likable and hopefully outperforming our peers. Number 1, be genuine and consistent. People gravitate to genuine people. It's because there's a trust there, and people want to know what they get from you. They are interested in knowing really that you're genuine, also in the good and in the bad opportunities, that they want to be able to know that they're going to get truth from you. The consistency part comes from knowing that somebody can, in a conversation, no matter if you're having a good day or a bad day, that they're going to get an equal footing in how you respond to them and how you treat them. Be genuine and be consistent. Tip number 2 is to don't pass judgment, which can sometimes be a little difficult if you are very much on the other side of what somebody is talking about. But this is really about being open-minded and approachable so that you can actually have a conversation. It doesn't mean that you have to buy in to something you don't agree with. It means being open and approachable to hear the conversation and to actually have that conversation. Tip number 3 is to greet people by name and to smile. Which I know sounds pretty simple, but we don't really do that enough. I want you to think about what it feels like when people use your name in a conversation. What studies show is that people consistently feel more validated when their name is used. So think about greeting people by name. Think about using their name within the conversation. And the smile part, gosh, it feels so good to smile that when you smile, it usually makes somebody else smile, and they're going to remember that that experience came with you, making you a little bit more likable. Tip number 4 is to ask questions, especially whenever you are giving responses to people. Here's one of the challenges out there. When we are listening to people, we are a lot of times forming our response. What we don't always do is listen fully. So the advice here is to listen so you can respond. But then when you respond, make sure that you ask a clarifying question in there. It does show that you fully listened and that you're engaged with what they are talking about. And my last tip for how to be a little bit more likable is to balance passion with fun. So what do I mean by that? So people gravitate again to passionate people. There's nothing like seeing somebody really passionate about whatever they're doing, especially at work. But bring a little bit of fun into there too. I'm not suggesting that you become the office clown, but I am talking about how you balance a little bit of humor and fun with that passion that people will gravitate to. Those are my 5 EQ how-to tips to becoming a little bit more likable. And by the way, I have one more reminder about our exciting event that's coming in August. We will finally be out in person in Boston in August, conducting our Mastering Emotional Intelligence Level 1 Train the Trainer session. And I am going to be there as your master facilitator. So please go ahead and hit our website up. Go to talentsmarteq.com/events. Scroll down to the August event in Boston, and you'll get all the information. I hope to see you there, and if not, we'll see you back here for another round of EQ How To.